It's time for us to talk nutrition this morning.
Yes.
And today on the nutrition segment, we're going to be discussing how to nourish your body during and after fasting. Okay, during and after fasting is very important, particularly looking at the season of Easter.
Yes, and then Ramadan as well.
Yes, and then Ramadan, of course, has also begun. And how exactly do we go about that so that you do it in a healthy manner, do it in a manageable manner, you do it in a sustainable manner so you don't hurt yourself, because sometimes, Charlie, the fasting, you have finished a 12-hour fast and then you eat breakfast, lunch, and supper together. So
make up for the shortfall.
I know, right? So Akosia Kuledu Iyadom, who is a state registered nutritionist, has joined us this morning. She's going to help us to get right into this conversation.
Yes.
Akosia, good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm fine. Yourself?
Fantastic. I'm very well, thank you.
Yeah, you look great.
Thank you. You look good too. It's been a while.
Yes, I know.
I saw you singing somewhere.
You did? Really?
But she sings everywhere, so.
I know.
Somewhere. She knows
somewhere.
last 2 weeks.
Okay.
Boy.
So, fasting, we're talking about this. So, as Kweku mentioned, Christians have Lent, most of us. Muslims have Ramadan, and people have reasons for fasting, But for religious fasting in particular, there's a method to it. And we know that, for instance, if we take the Muslim fasting, when people break the fast, they gather to eat together. And as he also mentioned, sometimes it's like a whole buffet, a whole day's buffet at once. So you're going to talk to us today about the right way to break your fast and how to replenish nutrients and nourish your body when you're fasting. Okay, let's take it away.
All right. So fasting is a good thing.
Yes.
To start with, I fast myself. So as a Christian, as a traditionalist, as a Muslim, we all go through fasting. And so for some people, just like myself, it's a deliberate doing. I'm a Kosia. So we say Okrada is Sunday.
Okay.
And so for me, Sunday, I decide to shut down. And so that's how I shut down. So I try to probably kill 2 birds with a stone.
Okay.
Aside the fact that I'm a Christian trying to work on myself, I am also trying, based on my knowledge in nutrition, to restart my body.
Okay.
So there is a way you can restart your body as individuals. Our bodies are like a company or a factory. And every day production is going on. You are putting this in water, you are putting everything in. And at a point, we will need to shut down to make sure we are cleaning, greasing here and there to make sure that the factory or the plant is back running so that we can carry on with production.
Yeah.
So that is it. God in his creation designed us this way, and then we are using our knowledge. So the factory running is just like the human body running. So at a point you need to shut down to make sure there is greasing going on. So there are people who do when it comes to the intermittent and whatever you want to do, we are focusing on what we all know. So I don't want to go really deep into intermittent, but I will do the 5:2 ratio. For example, there are people who eat 5 times in the week, and the other 2 they use to shut down and reset, because it helps you to take care of other parts of the body, like repair of the body. Like I said, in the factory we'll do greasing. We'll make sure this and that is done to make sure that we are starting production and then running as it should be. So it is very necessary or important that we fast. However, if you do it too much, there's a problem, because obviously when you are fasting, there are some nutrients you lose. And so there is a deliberate need for you to make sure you are replenishing your stores so that in your quest to be a better Christian, a better Muslim, a better traditionalist, or wherever you find yourself, you don't also do some damage to your health. So something like chromium, and then we have vanadium. They are micronutrients. It's a lot. The same way we speak about iron, we speak about folic acid, we speak about copper, we speak about potassium for BP. many of these micronutrients, it's amazing why iron is a micronutrient, but lack of iron can cause death. And so when you hear the macronutrients and the micronutrients, no matter how micro it sounds in your head, just treat it with every importance it deserves. So you lose these nutrients, and there is a conscious need for you to make sure that in your quest to come back, you are replenishing your stores. It's funny how people would want to fast 6 to 6, and then after 6 p.m. they want to combine everything they've had. They were supposed to have from breakfast to lunch, whatever it is, they will sum it all up and still try to prove to you, because after calculating it with me, who has taken breakfast, lunch, my snack and supper, we are probably on the same level. So were you really shutting down? That's why you have people doing all the intermittent, whatever, keto, what have you, but they still look a certain way. And they can't understand why you are doing 3-4 times and you still look a certain way. Our bodies are not greedy. So whatever you give your body, if I am supposed to work with this bottle, that is what I will work with. So based on your body's needs, as Kweku, if I am giving you 2 bottles, or if you are feeding your body with 2 bottles, and your body needs just 1, of course, your body will accept it, because I'm yet to come across somebody who ate so much that all of a sudden they exploded. It has never happened. I've never seen one. But your body will obviously work with what it needs, and the others in turn will hurt you. If you are somebody, or if you know persons with certain conditions like diabetes, fasting is not yours. God understands. Because the tendency for you to lose nutrients and enter hypoglycemia is high. And that one will cost you your life. God didn't create you to come and fast and die. You can't break Jesus' record.
Please say that again for people to be sure, especially those who fast for religious reasons. You know, maybe they've been told by their church you're supposed to fast, and you have a medical reason why you shouldn't fast, but you're in conflict with your church. How do you...
We are in Lent.
Yes.
For reasons I have been warned. I'm using myself as an example, that the next time I report to the hospital with that sign or symptom, they are going to start treating me for ulcer.
Wow.
And so I am knowing God for me, I'm not supposed to sit here and preach, but it gets to a point that you need to make sure you are in charge of your health.
Right.
And God understands if I can do up to 12. There are people who do, their patients have deliberately, especially with conditions like hypertension, diabetes, for example. I tell you to do the 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. as your fasting period. So whatever you would have done in a day, you have turned it over, because when we sleep, we fast.
Yes.
That's why we break the fast.
Yes.
And so you can turn your fasting and make sure that whatever you are setting yourself to do within 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., you are transferring it from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. so that makes up for your fast. I don't have to preach, but I'm being forced. So when you do that, there are some acids in the stomach that works on food for digestion to be able to happen. When you do a lot of fasting now, you bring them down. And so it becomes difficult. If you are somebody who fasts a lot and you are experiencing indigestion, it's about time you spoke with your caregiver about it, so that you know how best to do it. I fast, but I will have to stretch myself to be able to do 6 to 6. And I usually I'm not able to do the 6 to 6, obviously, because I'm aware of what I may land myself into. So if you have that diabetes, and then you have BP, heart, you are on BP and heart disease medications, you should also be careful, because of the fact that imbalancing happens in your sodium levels, in your potassium levels, and other minerals. So based on the conditions you have, you should be able to know or discuss, okay, we want to do Lent. It is a 40-day period program. Or we want to do Ramadan. It is going to span over the next 30 days. I have diabetes, I have hypertension, I have cardiovascular diseases, and these are life-threatening conditions. By the time you are done with the fast, we may be burying you. So you need to discuss with your caregiver. And I know that Allah, God, Onyame, whatever you call him, understands that your life depends on this. And so be deliberate about how you do it. How do we break the fast? Obviously, you have deprived yourself of food, and so it's important that you go low on it. And not come in with banku and abenkwine because you feel that you've starved yourself, and so because sometimes when you do that you experience tummy pains. And so it's very important that you start slow. For me, like me, for example, I can even have a Milo at 12. That is what I am starting. For some reasons, if my breakfast had to delay, I don't joke with my slow starts. So there is no way you will bring fufu and soup
as the first thing that you eat after
and then I
fasting.
will, because I've starved myself, and so I need to go low. You can just start with coconut water and just be guided on what you do. You can do broth. That is stock from bones with some vegetables in there. It tastes nice. There are people who enjoy with their plain boiled rice. People, I know, listening to me, you are thinking, how can I do an amsio with? But you go to restaurants, they serve you, they charge you 150 cedis, you pay. So
what about light soup?
Light soup works. So don't start with something hot, spicy, because some of us, for me, for instance, I'm likely to have heartburns when I start like that. So listen to your body first, but then start slow. When you take coconut water, when you take smoothies, when you take broth, like something that doesn't have a lot of hard stuffs in there.
Is it true that you shouldn't break your fast with citrus fruits?
It depends. So I will say that there are people who wake up and then they dilute lemons in water and they take it. I will always say that listen to your body. I may not be working with that. My grandmother has ulcer. There is no way I will give that woman anything citric because of the high acid content in there. So with this, you need to listen to your body, because most of the foods we have are very acidic, and you need to make sure there is that neutralization to make sure that you don't affect on everything that has to do with you, including the pH of certain sensitive space.
Got it. Awesome.
Because I think that people need to get in touch with you for a more bespoke program for themselves. So how can they reach you?
Okay, so I will try to share this and more on my Instagram account. You can follow me or message me at The Nutritionist Akosia. And then on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, Nutritionist Akosia. And then you can WhatsApp me on 0243 35 0206.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Always a pleasure.
For the great advice as always. How to break your fast. Now you know.